René Magritte. René François Gilles Magritte, 1898 to 1967, was a Belgian surrealist artist who used a form of lucid dreaming. His paintings are little understood even today, but unlike much symbolic art, they do not attempt to illustrate a complete myth. Their objective is their symbolism. Thus, when Magritte painted a tree with a crescent moon, the objective was to indicate that a tree and crescent moon are symbols of themselves. So to help in understanding, we have given the names of his paintings, and this painting is called Depths of Pleasure, but cross-reference to videos explaining the symbols. For example, video, the symbolism of hair, and video, the symbolism of chess. Surrealism is symbolism, but with no attempt to make a coherent picture from the symbols. Painting, the tomb of the restless, sick. Instead, the symbols are placed in surreal surroundings, and this is where the lucid dreaming helped. Video, the symbolism of the rose, and video, the symbolism of memory and rooms. In effect, painters who are classified as just symbolists paint what appears to be a normal scene. Painting Victor Vasnetsov, The Night at the Crossroads, 1878. The surrealists simply say, why bother? Let's create interesting paintings with just symbols. Painting the fire, video, the symbolism of the tree of life and leaves. Always counteract the dark with the light. Magritte was born in Les Sines, in the province of Hainaut, just in the French-speaking part of Belgium. On the 12th of March 1912, when he was 14, his mother committed suicide by drowning herself in the river Sambre. Painting, the red model, video, the symbolism of feet and shoes. This was not her first attempt at taking her own life. She had made many over a number of years, driving her husband Leopold to lock her in her bedroom. Painting, the blow to the heart, video, the symbolism of the colour pink. But one day she escaped and was missing for days. She was later discovered a mile or so down the nearby river, dead. Video, the concept of contrast. Video, the symbolism of doves. But instead of sinking down into a pit of depression and despair, Magritte sought the positive to counteract the negative. Painting the empire of light, video, the concept of contrast. We must not fear daylight, just because it almost always illuminates a miserable world. Painting the empire of light too. Video, the concept of contrast. Even during the misery of the Second World War, he adopted a colourful pastel toy-like style, using a slang word in the title of this painting, a painting la poitrine, meaning chest or breasts. As a reaction to the grimness of living in German-occupied Belgium, a painting Georgette Magritte, 1934, whose breast it was, and painted a picture of a pig in a suit near a war memorial and pastel landscape with the title A Stroke of Luck, video The Symbolism of the Pig. And in 1946 he joined several other Belgian artists in signing the manifesto Surrealism in Full Sunlight. Times of plenty, times of famine. Magritte's life was the same seesaw existence. There were periods when he had to undertake mundane jobs in order to support himself and his wife, a poster for the Bolger cigarettes, 1935, and periods when he managed to secure a patron or sponsor, poster advertising centre for Belgian textiles. From 1922 to 1923, for example, he worked as a draftsman in a wallpaper factory and was a poster and advertisement designer. But in 1926 he secured a contract with Galerie Le Centre in Brussels, which made it possible for him to paint the surrealist paintings he wanted. Painting The False Mirror, 1929, and video The Symbolism of the Mirror. In 1926, Magritte produced his first surreal painting, The Lost Jockey, Le Jockey Perdu, and held his first exhibition in Brussels in 1927. Painting The Lost Jockey, video The Symbolism of the Horse, and video The Symbolism of the Tree of Life and Leaves. Critics heaped abuse on the exhibition. Depressed by the failure, Magritte moved to Paris, where he became involved in the surrealist group. Painting Time Transfixed, video The Symbolism of Thoughts, Flags, Smoke and Prayers, which includes the chimney as a symbol, and video The Concept of Time. But Galerie Les Centures closed at the end of 1929, ending Magritte's contract income. He returned to Brussels in 1930 and resumed work in advertising. Painting Portrait of E.L.T. Messens, 1930. Edward Leon Theodore Messens was a Belgian surrealist and writer. Then the British surrealist patron, Edward James, allowed Magritte to stay rent-free in his London home and paint. Painting Portrait of Edward James. James is featured in two of Magritte's works, Le Principe du Plaisir, Pleasure Principle, and La Reproduction Interdite, a painting also known as Not to be Reproduced. Painting The Pleasure Principle. Then came the war, and Magritte stayed in Belgium, so this arrangement came to an end. Painting The Survivor. At the end of the war, Magritte even supported himself through the production of fake Picassos, Braques and Chiricos. Painting Companions of Fear, video The Symbolism of the Owl. He was later to expand into the printing of forged banknotes, or so it is said. Painting 500 Belgian francs. The contemporary English artist Banksy has done much the same thing with a banknote. But at the end of 1948, Magritte returned to the style and themes of his pre-war surrealistic art. For example, all these use the theme of the door. Painting Unexpected Answer, painting The Victory, painting Early Morning, painting The Amorous Perspective, and video The Symbolism of Windows and Doors. And all relate to what Magritte believed was behind the door of perception. Did anyone understand or value his work? whilst he was alive? No. His work was exhibited in the United States, in New York in 1936, for example, but no one understood it, even though he used the same set of symbols over and over again. Here it is a fish. Painting Le Domaine Enchanté, 4, 1953. Painting The Collective Invention. The Song of Love. The Presence of Spirit. And video, The Symbolism of Fish. Many of the paintings which are now in the museum dedicated to his work in Brussels came from his wife's estate and that of one collector. Video, The Symbolism of Rivers and Streams, the Chalice, the Cup and the Holy Grail. And the symbols of rain and the Holy Grail are found in 4 paintings. Painting Hegel's Holiday, Golconda, The Heartstrings, The Cut-Glass Bath. Video, The Symbolism of the Giraffe. Magritte died of pancreatic cancer on the 15th of August 1967 in his own bed, aged 68. And still people did not understand his paintings, although thankfully the surreal nature of them has kept interest alive. So let us take a look. First, a simple explanation of the bowler hat. The bowler hat. Eggs appear in numerous Magritte paintings. Painting Elective Affinities. Painting The Imaginative Faculty. Painting The Ignorant Fairy. This egg is a symbolic cosmic egg, with the top third as the higher spirit and the bottom part as the subconscious and conscious. Video, The Symbolism of the Cosmic Egg. In other words, all the photos or paintings are of a man connected to his higher spirit, a symbol of an enlightened being. Painting The Schoolmaster. Painting The Great Century. Painting Pandora's Box. Painting Mysteries of the Horizon. The feminine is the route to spiritual experience. Magritte adored women, but he also knew that the feminine was the route to spiritual experience. Painting Black Magic. And symbolically, the feminine is a watery symbol, emotional, with connections to the dove and peace. And his own wife was a key part of his own progress. And this is Georgette. And Magritte shows that she is the dove of peace and holds the key to the spirit world. We never see reality. We have a video called The Concept of Reality, which provides the background needed to understand this. Magritte said in a letter to the Belgian poet Achille Charvet, "We see the world outside of us, although having only one representation of it within us. Similarly, we sometimes remember a past event as being in the present. Time and space lose meaning, and our daily experience becomes paramount. This is how we see the world. we see it outside ourselves, and at the same time we only have a representation of it in ourselves. In the same way, we sometimes situate in the past that which is happening in the present. Apples for Magritte were knowledge, but not wisdom, the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and this fruit blocked our view even further. Knowledge acquired second-hand simply blocked up our memory and kept out the light. Women were not immune to this problem, but their view was blocked by emotions and feelings. And we could be seduced into thinking we were looking out when we were only seeing the content of our memories. And at every opportunity, Magritte attempted to bring home the dangers of accumulating huge blocks of knowledge that actually block what would have been a splendid view. But occasionally a flash of spirit does get through in all its beauty, and you realize what you have been missing. Magritte, and a letter to the Belgian poet Aakash. Questions such as what does this picture mean, what does it represent, are possible only if one is incapable of seeing a picture in all its truth. Only if one automatically understands that a very precise image does not show precisely what it is. It's like believing that the implied meaning is worth more than the overt meaning. How can anyone enjoy interpreting symbols? They are substitutes that are only useful to a mind that is incapable of knowing the things themselves.